Welcome into our exo chair class. We are going to stretch it out today. I have us on one heavy spring set up on its highest tension. So this is going to be a medium resistance for you. And we're going to start here on the back of our chair. So facing the exo chair in the pedal, let's inhale, reach both arms up and overhead, getting as tall as you can from ankles through hips and ribs up through shoulders. And then exhale as you drop your chin down, reach forward. Start to bring your hands to your pedal. Push that pedal away from you as you reach your hips back. Now, you're not trying to touch the pedal to the floor. You're just looking for a stretch into those hamstrings. Thinking of reaching the backs of the thighs towards the space behind you. Really strong and planted through the heels. On your inhale, let's lift that pedal up a few inches, halfway lift. Exhale, sink it back down, pushing that pedal away from the legs. One breath in, inhale, lift that pedal up. And exhale to drift that pedal back down and away from you. Allowing your head to be heavy, forehead near the edge of that chair. And one more time, start to roll up this time. Tuck the pelvis under. Roll yourself back to standing with the hands. Leave the pedal. Let them roll up the chair, up the thighs. Inhale to reach those arms all the way back up. Lovely. And from here, let's come back so we're on the other side of our chair. Oh, no, we've got one more stretch here. Stay here. We're going to take your left leg, cross that leg across the body for a pigeon stretch. So take that left ankle up onto your chair. Place your shin down parallel to the exo chair and step your right leg back as much as is comfortable. Starting to feel heavy and weighted into that left leg. Relax your shoulders. You can always stay here where you take a few big breaths. Notice that most of the weight is on the back of your left leg rather than in that right leg super heavy. That right leg is down to keep you from falling off the chair, but your left leg is holding up the body. If you would like, we can bring those hands towards the pedal and you can push that pedal down as is comfortable, relaxing your head with your exhale. And inhaling to lift that pedal up a little bit, exhaling to push that pedal down. One more time with that pedal, little lift, and then sink it back down. And slowly bring your hands back up to your chair. Stay on this side for a moment, inhaling to lift your chest, lifting your heart, pressing into the hands to get a little bit taller. And then gently twisting towards the left, towards that bent knee in front of you. One breath here. And then let's go ahead and unwind. You can bring your right leg back under you, left foot back to the floor, come into a little forward fold. So hips back, reach hands forward, and sink the chest down. And slowly bring yourself back. Let's come to the other side. So this time it is right leg. Cross it across the body, place it onto that chair. And as you bring your hands to the chair, you're going to hop your left leg back and place your right shin down onto that chair as parallel as it can be to that front edge. Now, using your hands here for some stability and support, take a few breaths. And then start to recognize that that right leg is going to be holding up most of the work here. Left leg is bent and relaxed back behind you. As you settle into your hips here with a few breaths, if it feels comfortable, those hands move to the front edge of the carriage, maybe even to that pedal. And we can ride that pedal up a little bit on the inhale and down a little bit on the exhale. Remembering that one side might feel different from the other. That's all right. Just make note of it and aim to keep those hips as square as they can be. Sink that pedal down. And then slowly bring that pedal back up. Hands to your chair. Stay here for a moment. Use your hands to help you lift your heart up a little bit higher. One full breath. Twist toward that bent knee, that right side. Full breath here. And then slowly unwind. Let's bring that foot back to the ground behind us. Feet are wide, hips reach back, hands onto the chair as you sink the chest down to the floor. Big breath in. And now let's roll the body forward, bringing your weight under your hands for a brief plank. Then drop those hips to your chair, open your chest, and bring yourself back to standing. You can take those hips back and control yourself up. We've got a visit from the Opal Angel. We're going to be coming down to the other side of our chair now, and we're going to be kneeling in front of our chair. No, honey. And once you're kneeling, we're going to get ready for our kneeling roll down. From here, you want the thighs to be not on that bottom platform, but pretty close. Inhale to reach those arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, we're going to roll down, curling through the spine. Hands come to your pedal. Push that pedal down and relax your head, letting it be heavy. And as you come down, you're trying to keep your hips over your knees, so don't let your booty poke back. Head is heavy. Now we're going to slowly roll back up to the top. So same thing here. We're trying to keep our hips stacked directly over top of our knees. Tuck the chin, roll down like you are reaching up and over a fence. Keeping those hips where they are, working through some upper, mid, and lower body flexion or lower spine flexion. Exhale, tuck. Round as if you're doing a little chest lift. You are pushing that pedal to the floor and rising back up to the top. From here, we're going to turn to the right. Left leg is going to be able to stay down on the ground. Right leg is going to be able to extend out to your side. With your left hand on your pedal, let's push that pedal down. Reach up and over, big stretch for the right side of the body. And then let's rise. Let that pedal bring you back up to the top with control. Push it down, reach up and over. If that pedal doesn't feel like it's giving you enough support, increase your tension. If it feels like you can't keep it controlled, drop that tension just a little bit. Really opening up through the hips, opening up through the right side of the body. Let's go for one more. And bring it back up. Go ahead, let's turn to face your chair. Right leg is still going to be our focus. We're going to bring this right foot forward now. It's going to be on the outside of our chair, hands to pedal, and we're going to push that pedal down, coming into a nice deep stretch into that right hip. Now from here, my face feels a little bit close to my chair, so I'm going to scoot my legs back a little bit further away. Both legs scoot back a little bit. And now it feels much more like I'm in a comfortable lunge position with that right foot forward. Press that pedal down with control. And then inhale to bring that pedal up, keeping your collarbones wide and your heart open. Now you can always stay here. If you're wanting to build a little bit more heat, you can tuck that back toe, and now you're coming into a high lunge as you let that pedal come up and down, but it is up to you wherever you want to find that deep stretch today. Again, that knee can be down, planted to the floor, really just focused on getting into that right hip and the front of the left hip flexor. Or you can tuck the toe back behind you and ride that pedal up and down as you get that same stretch. Wherever you are, that pedal comes to the floor. Let's hold it with the pedal down. And now take your right elbow, drive it up towards the ceiling, twisting and reaching up to the sky up above you. And then coming back to the center, plant the hands back to the pedal and lift that pedal up. Good, we're going to do it again. Push the pedal down and hold. Now as we do, do not let your hips move. Hips stay square as the chest and shoulders opens up. And then you bring it back down through the upper body. Inhale, let that pedal lift. We've got 2 more on this side. So we push down, we hold it. Both legs are sturdy as you reach that elbow up and hand up. Return the hand. Inhale, lift that pedal. One more time, push that pedal down, hold it. Drive the right elbow up, reach it up, twist, and bring that pedal back down and lift that pedal all the way up. Now, similar movement, we're going to scoot your left knee in a little bit, and we're going to extend your right leg out straight for a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So taking both hands to that pedal, heart is open, start to gently push into that pedal a little bit. We're not trying to push it to the floor. We're aiming to just increase that stretch through the back of that right leg. And then we're going to bring it back up. And from here, I'm going to scoot in just a little bit more. If you feel like you are reaching forward and unable to come back upright, you'll scoot back until you feel a little more upright. Pushing hands into that pedal, chest is open, and then slowly lift it up. Our goal is to keep the collarbones wide to help open up through the back of that hamstring. Your hips are square to the chair in front of you, even though your leg is out to the side. Chest open, push pedal down, and bring it up. One more time. Flexed in that right ankle, push the pedal down, and control it back up. Lovely. Bring that right knee underneath you, and we're going to turn facing the opposite direction now. So left leg will be out to the side. Your right hand is going to be near your chair, and we're going to come into that first side bend. With your right hand on the pedal, let's push that pedal down, reach the left arm up and over, stretch the left side of the body. Big breath in, and then control and bring it back up. As we work here, you're always staying open through the front hips, moving with flow and control. Every time you come to the top, notice those shoulders get to reset and melt down the back before they go again. Big inhale, pedal pushes down, and we control it up. Let's go for our last 2, really opening up through the front of the left side of the body. And one more time. Good. Bring yourself back up. And as we do, we're going to turn to face your pedal. Left leg is still going to be our focus leg, so we're going to bring this leg up and to the side of our chair. Hands come down to your pedal. Inhaling to open the chest. Exhaling to push down into that pedal. Now again, my face feels like it's a little close to my chair, so I'm going to pause and scoot both my right knee and my left foot back a little bit. And then I'm going to inhale and lift back up. Exhale, push down, find that stretch. And inhale, bring it back up. As we work, we're keeping our hips square to that chair in front of us. And you can always stay here if you would like to add a little bit more heat. You're going to push the chair down and hold. Tuck those back toes, coming into now a low lunge as you control that pedal up and as you ride that pedal down. Wherever you are, we're looking for a stretch into that left hip and into the front of that right hip flexor. One more time, and then we're all going to be bringing that pedal down to the floor, keeping it there. pedal is down, left elbow, drive it up towards the sky, and reach that left hand up, big inhale, and take that hand back to your chair. Ride that pedal up. Your hips are square to that exo chair. Push that pedal down, establish those arms, and drive that left hand up. Reach, rotate, and bring it back. Ride it up and down. Again, wherever you are, keep those hips square, rotating through upper and mid back. Let's go for one more. You inhale to bring it up. Exhale to push it down. Open up through those arms. Place that hand down and guide that pedal back up to the top. Leaving it there, let's scooch our legs in a little bit closer to the chair now. The left leg is going to go out at an angle to the side of our chair, but our hips are going to stay squared forward. Hands to your pedal. Inhale, lifting your heart, and start to push down with that exhale, keeping your chest open. Inhale, we lift it up. Ankle is flexed on that left side, opening up through the entire back of the left leg. That left hip is drawing back behind you a little bit. And your number one focus is keeping your collarbones open and wide. Now remember, if it feels like you're leaning forward more than you are just going up and down, I want you to scoot in a little bit closer. And same thing, but really focusing on pushing down, stretching into that hamstring here. And last one. Collarbones are wide, hips reaching back. And lift right back up to the top. You can leave that pedal behind for a moment. We are going to be laying all the way down onto our stomachs. As you lie down on your belly on the floor, making sure that your head is not on that landing plate for your exo chair. That is the crush pad. And for our positioning, we want to have our hands able to reach up to the pedal and push that pedal up 1 to 2 inches into the spring tension so that there is absolutely no tension. Now from here, release those arms down. We've got our positioning. Hands come to right below your shoulders, and let's warm up the spine. So inhaling, we're going to push into our hands. We're going to lift the chest up as much as is comfortable, and then we're going to exhale and we're going to sink it back down. Now, as you work here, you are warming up your spine. You are listening to your body. And you are going to get one more here just to give that feeling to your body here, knowing that if our next move isn't comfortable, you can always come right back here to that prior position. So your legs are all the way straight here. You're going to be reaching your hands up, finding that pedal. Push the pedal away from you for one moment here. Elongate those legs. Decide whether it feels more engaging to push them into the floor or to hover them up. Whichever one you pick, stick with the legs there. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press into your pedal. Start to push it down. Use that leverage to lift the chest, reaching your heart forward as you lift, and then lower back down. As you do this, remember your purpose is to elongate the front of your body. So as you lift up, you're stretching from pubic bone, through hip bones, through belly button, through ribs, sternum, chest, and then you lower back down. The goal is not to lift as high as possible. It is to stretch as much as you can through the front of the body. We're going to go for 2 more here. Every time you come down, feel that pedal push up a little bit without spring tension. Notice the deep support from your core here. And bring it all the way down to rest. Hands come under your shoulders. Press your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. Hips to heels. Arms reach forward and forehead comes to mat. Find a few breaths. Shift your body weight back forward. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips for a final cat-cow. Exhale, tuck the tail around the spine. Inhale, pop the trunk, open the chest, drop the belly. One more time, exhale, tucking round, head heavy. Inhale, back to neutral. Tuck your toes here, coming into a downward dog. So you're gonna lift your hips up, send your legs straight back behind you, and start to pedal out through your feet, alternating one foot at a time down towards the mat as the opposite knee bends a little bit. Breathing deeply and keeping your hips sturdy. Start to walk your feet in towards the hands. Relax it about halfway and walk your hands to meet your feet. Relax your upper body. Grab opposite elbow and let your head hang for a moment with bent knees. On your next exhale, tuck your pelvis, start to roll back up. Release the arms, stack your hips up over your heels. Roll up vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders relaxing down, roll them back a few times, head comes up on top. And you are done with your little stretch warm-up class for the day. Thank you for coming to join me, and I will see you in our next video.